Bobby Wilkinson, manager of Swindon Supermarine, back once again here on Swindon 5.5. Bobby, thank you very much for joining me.
How are you, Dan?
Let's get into it. Let's crack on with it because we've got a few things to cover. It's back to a double header weekend. I know I asked you last week, like, did you like the mental break? But you were like, no, I want to get in there. I want to roll up my sleeves. I want to get in there, and I want 3 points. Did you? Did you actually? What did you actually do last weekend after the game? Did you have a bit of R&R, or did you watch somebody else play?
I've been to watch a game this week again. Our opponents next week, and we have another opponent the week after. So Westbury, I went to watch this week. So no, been working quite hard. I think it's important. I did let quite a few of the boys have Monday night off to recover for how hard and physical we've demanded on their bodies. And because we got so many injuries in the camp, I couldn't take a gamble of losing another one or two after training. So we looked at it as a collective, as a group, and we thought, let's let them recharge the batteries, let them have a little night off. And the ones that wanted to do some extra fitness, they came in and done some extra fitness. And the ones that wanted to do fitness at home, they had to go to a gym and send us the videos and of them doing their own works. Wanted just to save a little bit of travelling for them and try and look after them in that way.
Let's talk about Bideford then. 0-0 draw at the weekend. What was your assessment? A good point away from home?
It's a fantastic point away from home because they're very physical, very demanding journey. We were disappointed, but we didn't win the game because we missed two golden chances that we should have been taking. We should have took both really and won the game 2-0. But then I have to spin it in the 90th minute. They could have scored one with a mistake that we did. So overall, 0-0 is a great point for such a depleted side and such a horrendous conditions down there. The pitch was very, very wet, but fair play to them for getting the game on. So I'd rather go there and get a point than go there on a Tuesday night. So overall, we were a very happy camp in the end.
Double header back to it this weekend then, and we're going to start with Frome, however you want to say it. That is the opponent this Saturday, and it's a double helping of home games as well. So let's start with a 3 o'clock kickoff. Frome or Frome, whichever way. What do you make of them this season so far? They've got a pretty decent team, I think.
They're definitely the favourites. They're spending a lot of money. They've got some big players. They've got a lot of step 3 and step 2 players. They've came down, but they've showed their ambition in going straight back up. They're doing it very different to what we're doing. They're throwing the kitchen sink at it really to go up, and credit to them. So we know what we're up against this weekend. The challenge for my boys is, can we compete against these big boys? Because these are in a different level to where we're looking to go right now. We want to be where they are, but with finances and the way it is right now with this young group, we're not quite there where we want to be. But what's nice is we're building. They've been building a couple of years. They've had an experience in the league above, but didn't stay like us. But when you look at both courses of both teams, they're definitely trying to go straight back up. We want to go straight back up, but we're on a different course for them, and they will be definitely top 3, even top 2 budget wise. I've heard they are the number ones, but like we're most probably bottom 3, bottom 4 budget wise. I don't really know, but we're on a different course to them right now.
Yeah, they're one of those non-league clubs that seems to have a little bit of financial backing, and they seem to have a plan about where they want to go. They're clearly aiming, I think, for the National League South overall. But of course, a project like that take a couple of years to get there. But you can definitely see from the results that they've had, and they're 4th in the table, so they're going to be up there at the end of the season. So it's going to be a tough game for you guys. Let's talk about the Monday game then. Sporting Club Inkbro, you've played them already this season. What are you expecting this time around?
I went to watch them last Tuesday. I went to Didcot. Sorry, not like the Tuesday before. I went to watch them against Didcot, and they were still a physical, demanding side with some good players. I tell you what I like about their group. It's the togetherness. You could tell that they've been together 2-3 years. You could tell they got promoted together, and they wear their badge of pride. That was one of the biggest things I did learn about them on the night. They were very well organised. They've just had another fantastic result at the weekend themselves. So they're coming to us full of confidence, but we're at home. They beat us 1-0 at their place, second game of the season, and we dominated the whole game, but they scored a set play against us. So it's one that we look forward to, and one that we would love to get a win and get our own back on them, because they did celebrate like they won the World Cup against us. So I took note of that, and it's something I'm looking forward to, and playing against these. First things first, got to get Saturday out the way before we do this.
Yeah, I was going to say that you're just about in the top half of the table, but they're 11th, so you're 10th, they're 11th, both on 21 points. So it's an interesting game. You mentioned the kind of celebrating like they just won the World Cup. Is that going to factor into your team talk to just remind the boys, this is how they celebrated. Let's go
Yeah,
show.
you got it right, Dan. I've been surprised with a few teams and a few managers the way they've celebrated when they beat us. Because we're on a different course to a few of these teams, but because we are such a big football club with the best facilities, maybe we've come down and everyone just expected, because I've gone in there and the facilities and a great chairman, that we're just going to bounce straight back. Well, we've decided to go a different way. We want to go up, but we're going down a different way. The nice thing about it, you can just look how young we are and the loanees we took. You could tell that we don't have a lot of money to go out there and splash, like the Shaftesbury's and the Fromes and that, and the Portlands and stuff like that. Because if you go player for player, there's a lot of experience round. Listen, of course you bring it up. When Larkhall beat us, I'd never heard a team celebrate the way they beat us 2 weeks ago. And they're roughly just above us as well. It's been an eye opener, but that just shows what a big football club we are. So I can look at it both ways. But yeah, it will definitely come up in my team talk. Remember, don't let anyone or any team disrespect you. But people always have their opinions. I just think sometimes you got to just stay humble when you win and when you lose. So I will always stay classy. When I get beat, I get beat. And when we win, I don't celebrate that much, because you have to meet them again as well. And, sometimes I think it just shows a lack of experience, because you've got to play each other twice. And if you beat us to get in the playoffs or you beat us to win the league, I think that's a little bit different. It's definitely emotions. But to win a game of football, everyone wants to beat us at the moment, which is because we're such a big football club. Because if you look at squad wise, we're nowhere near a lot of teams in our league squad wise, and we've not been together for more than 4 months. So we are a brand new team who's trying to work our way up the ladder, or the mountain as it is. A lot of these are top of the mountains for them, but we're chasing them. But give me a year and we'll be chasing them, and they won't celebrate like that again.
I was gonna say, do you feel like you're a scalp in this league at this level? Because of course we were in the league above for what, 2-3 years. We had that amazing FA Cup run where they reached the first round proper, and they had a home game, and it paid for a lot of the stuff that you see now. Do you feel like a bit of a scalp because they see Swindon and go, "Oh, that's a pretty big town"?
Yeah, I think it's a brilliant question, Dan. I always got to make a couple of things clear with that. Everyone always wants to beat my sides. They always want to beat good sides, and they want to beat big clubs. What I always remind people, and people might go, he always reminds us, listen, we were a sinking ship 4 months ago. So what we've done, and we had a meeting about this over the weekend, is actually incredible, the way we've turned it around. And I still believe we are being punished for last year's team getting relegated. I've definitely seen that, but everyone wants to beat us this year, and I've seen that. But that is because a credit to the chairman for building such a big football club. Right now, we're not a big football club, but one thing we're trying to do is be a big football club again, because I'm realistic. At the moment, I said to you, we sunk to the bottom of the sea, and we've got us back to the top, and we're sailing now. But we haven't even opened it up yet. But one thing we had to do is get this club back to the level where we want to be. I don't like talking about other clubs, but, I left the football club a couple of years ago. They got relegated, and now they're in step 3, and it looks like they could be getting relegated again. I hope they don't, by the way. But normally when clubs get relegated, it can go back to back. So the biggest achievement we did is let's stable the club again before you start looking elsewhere. Because if you go back over the years, every team that's got relegated, they normally get relegated again. It's normally back to back, even in the Premiership.
Look at
Luton
Luton
got
Town. Yeah, Luton Town.
Yeah, Luton Town, then they got relegated, and one of my old teams, like I said, got relegated out of Conference South, and then they're fighting the league below in step three. It's a dangerous place when you're at football clubs because you can get caught in that environment where you forget that you're not a big club at the time. You just got to get back to winning ways, get the mindset ready, and change the club round to then go back challenging. Because if you want to challenge, how are you going to challenge? You've got to remember how to challenge because it's easy to lose games and stay negative. But how do you change the personnel and the positiveness? And that has been one of my biggest challenges. And I had to remind myself this last week that what we've done here so far with which was a sinking ship is actually incredible. And we will continue to work hard for this football club.
Final point then, really, really sad piece of news on Nick Rhodes. You hinted at it before. Obviously, you didn't say what was going to happen, but you kind of had like 2 weeks ago, you were kind of like, there's a bit of news. Can't tell you anything, but there's a bit of news. And it turns out this was the news. So an immensely personal situation for Nick. And it's just a heartbreaking way to end one's career, isn't it?
Yeah, I was heartbroken for him. I only worked with him for 4 months, but I have to say, what an absolute pleasure. What a brilliant footballer. What a brilliant person. And we've got 9 injuries in the football club, as you know. I said this the other day. I signed a fantastic forward, Joe Beardwell, and a great forward in Dan Ware, and we haven't played them together yet. But you have to deal with this situation. But when I mention them players, they'll be back in 3-4 weeks' time. When we talk about Nick Rhodes, he's retiring, and I remember when I had to retire because of injuries. It's a tough place. So as a football club and as people, we have to make sure we look after him now. So I've reached out to him a few times and I wanted to announce him different as well. I wanted people to recognise what a fantastic human being he is, what a fantastic player. And he wore our badge with pride. And I think he played only 5-6 games for me. And I don't think we lost the game when he was in it. And we've lost another great experience. And how do you replace these players, especially in this day and age now? Because they're the old breed that will live and die for you. And, if he got a cut head, he'd just tape himself up and play. That's a Nick Rhodes. And I'm so pleased you recognised it today because that's what's important. That's where you've been brilliant as well, Dan, because everyone's quick enough to comment. If we had played Saturday and he was playing, we would have won the game. I truly believe that because he would have gone up and scored one of them headers. But he's not in the building anymore, but we can always make it sure we welcome him in the building. I've offered him anything he wants from us to the best of our ability. And I wish him every bit of success now in his future. I don't think he'll ever go into coaching, but with the way he conducts himself and his winning mentality, he wouldn't be a bad coach. So maybe one day I'll offer him a job. But if he wanted to come in and learn a little bit, that's been an offer to him as well. So I wish him every bit of success. And I'm honoured to have managed him for only 4 months, but you get to know someone that quickly. And hopefully Merthyr Tydfil and all that, they put out a lovely statement about him and stuff like that because he was very successful there as well. But overall, forget about football. He's a great human being and I wish him every bit of success.
Bobby Wilkins, manager of Swindon Supermarine, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, my friend.